Looking at the Philadelphia 76ers, who have made a lot of acquisitions and have a lot of losses at the same time. Drew, looking at this team, I gave them a B+. Andre Drummond, I think, is a pretty good signing for a team that now has one of the best, I think, center rotations with Paul Reed, him, and obviously Joel Embiid. And if Joel Embiid, who is injury riddled, obviously gets injured, your rebounding is not going to be hurt in the very least. Paul George, the contract's really expensive. He's still an elite two-way superstar, but at the end of the day, he's aging. He's an aging superstar who I'm very worried about how he's going to fit this team. Tyrese Maxey is clearly the 2. Joel's clearly the 1. I don't need Paul George coming in here and ruining the mojo that Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid have together when Tyrese has proven to try to keep the team afloat as much as possible by himself. And Paul George also has an injury history. So I'm curious to see where he's going to fit in and how the coaching is going to go with this, to see if he's actually going to be an established 3 and not try to take over as a 2. Also, signing Eric Gordon was fine. Tyrese Maxey getting his extension, I gave that almost a perfect score, A+. I gave it an A just alone on that one. Kelly Oubre coming back. I think this team looks really good defensively all of a sudden, with Oubre being really good on defense. Joel Embiid, obviously. Tyrese Maxey he's fine. He's not anything insane, but he's definitely decent. He still averages a steal a game, but this is a very good defensive team all of a sudden, and I'm curious to see what the rest of the roster is going to look like, because you did lose Tobias Harris, Mo Bamba, Nick Batum, a couple of guys who were already on the team, and you've lost out just on some of your bench role players. So a B+ is where I'm going with that.
They got that dude for nothing.
Future second round pick swap.
A future second round pick swap. They got Kyle Anderson for nothing.
Yeah.
And they absorbed his whole contract into a trade exception that they created by trading away Clay for nothing. So they essentially swapped out Clay for Kyle Anderson is what they did there. So
yeah.
And with not having much room, I think they did okay there. As far as the Sixers go, Paul George was the premier free agent. They landed him. They had all this cap space. They needed to do something. Does it move the needle for me? Not really.
Yeah.
If Paul George is healthy, if Embiid is healthy, if Tyrese Maxey is healthy, and Embiid can play as one of the best players in the world, it's kind of this slots into the Giannis Bucks situation for me, is if he establishes and returns himself to MVP level Joel Embiid, then this is a potential Eastern Conference Finals team. But Paul George, trying to make it all the way through an 82-game season and the playoffs, and Embiid trying to do that against the Boston Celtics, I just don't.
It's long and grueling.
That's not an NBA Finals winning team to me.
Yeah,
but you got to do something. You got all that cap space. Joel Embiid demands it. If they hadn't signed Paul George, then maybe Joel Embiid's like, get me the fuck out of here. So
it's true. Yeah, I think the premier thing here is retaining Maxey on a 5-year, $204 million extension. When he just finished off his best season, 25.9 points per game, 6.2 assists, 3.7 rebounds, and a steal per game. Again, I think this Philly starting 5 is a really good starting 5 defensively. Again, Tyrese averaging a steal per game. Eric Gordon's not very good defensively at this point, or never even really was at any point in his career. You have Kelly Oubre, good two-way player. Paul George, good two-way player. And again, Joel Embiid, a very good two-way player as well. So again, Philly has a very good defensive rotation with, on the flip side, still guys who are averaging 27, 31-ish points per game. Paul George averaging 32. Kelly Oubre averaging 15.5 points per game. So you got a lot going on, but it's about not just that starting 5, but the depth behind it as well. I'm a little concerned about it moving forward.